Alright, take two, I guess. So I already made this tutorial like a week ago, but my mouse wasn't on screen, so it fucking sucks. And I didn't know until a few days ago, so I'm remaking it. Yay. Um, so this is my tutorial for the car jumps for Volcano Skip for in no out of bounds. Yeah, let's just get right into it. So you should have 3 boosts here. You can technically do this with 2 boosts. It's not worth doing on purpose, so just come with 3 boosts. Yeah, jump over the waterfall. First thing I'm doing is, I don't do it in this clip, but I do it in this more recent one, and I'm surprised I didn't do it in the other one. But you see I go first person, and I identify that this is the rock I'm trying to jump to. And most people who've now picked up this setup use the grass to tell them like where on this along this wall to aim for. Like right here, you can't see the point where you're trying to jump to. I mean, it is this rock, but like you can't tell these rocks apart really, so you can't tell this is where you're trying to jump to. But I think they use these grass patches to identify it. I go first person, I see this rock and I look at this arch, and I'm like, right, drive at that. Drive a little bit to the right in this sort of part here. Anyway, whatever. So I then roll forward, and I'm not accelerating. I'm going at I'm not rolling at a snail's pace, but I'm also not like accelerating hard at this wall or anything like that. You'll just have to get used to the speed that you have to approach this wall. Too fast and you'll just ram into the rock, this lower rock wall. Too slow and you might not make it up. So what I'm doing is I'm watching the front left tire. This is the whole point about this first jump with my setup is the sand right before this rock slopes upwards. It's sloping upwards everywhere, but it slopes up even more right here in front of the rock. And if you watch the front left tire, you see the two are pretty dead, like even right now. This one's, if anything, a little bit lower. And then right here, you see it's not anymore. It's gone up this sandbank here, and it's now above the right wheel. As soon as I see this, you'll see I've already let go of jump, and I'm about to boost. See, so I jump, and then I boost. There's not much of a gap between the two, but I do jump first. If you boost first or boost at the same time, you're probably just going to ram into these rocks. So you jump and then you boost, and you pull back on the stick. I probably didn't do it for very long, because you don't really need to once you get good at it, but yeah, I'm pulling back on the stick, and once I know that the nose is going up, so back on the stick, jump, then boost, and then you nearly always hit your back wheels on this rock, which is great because it actually kind of slows the car down, so you just don't go flying into the wall. And then I get really lucky. Well, not lucky. I mean, this is just, I do it the same every time, and this happens the more I practice it. So this is where I'm trying to end up, in this exact position. If you're not lined up like this, ram your car like into this area, and it will help you turn the car around to the right. You're going to have to figure out how to turn your car around here. It's not very easy to explain. But what I will say is stay away from this rock here, this rock face. Keep your back left tire away from this if you can, because as you will see here briefly, you see that my wheel like went up it, and it's going to make the car bounce a couple times. Because I know what I'm doing with this trick, I tapped accelerate just to get myself off the rock quickly so it didn't mess me up. But if you leave this tire on that rock face, it will spin your car to the left, anti-clockwise, which is not what you want to do, and it will mess up your lineup for this next jump. So just be careful, be light when you're reversing so that you don't just drive up this wall here. So anyway, ideally you're looking for something like this. It's not that precise where you need to aim, just roughly like this. I don't have a visual cue, I just have done it enough times now. So I let the car roll forward a little bit. I don't even think that's necessary. Then you're going to jump. Excuse me. You're going to jump, and then after a little bit, you're going to boost. So it's about when I'm level with like the ridge on this rock that we're jumping to. Honestly, I don't look at anything. I just time it because I've practiced it a bunch. But if you want some kind of visual cue, jump, and then when the car fucking is about here, boost, I guess. And then we're immediately, not like instantly, but pretty quickly afterwards, we're holding or tapping, mashing, whatever, square to cancel the boost, which is very important. If you don't cancel the boost, you'll just go flying up here, smack into the wall, and then tumble down. So cancel the boost, and then I'm holding L1 again before I hit the thing. That's not entirely crucial, but that's just how I do it. Holding square is very important though. Even if you're not holding square to cancel the boost, holding square to make sure the wheels stop moving, so that when you hit the rock, the car stops like instantly. If the wheels are spinning, the car can roll forward more than you want. You might ram into this rock here and then end up in the precarious position. So anyway, we're gonna get in roughly this position. I let the car roll forward a little bit, jump, boost, cancel the boost, and hold square so the wheels stop moving, and we're good. We're up here. Nearly always your front left will scrape along this wall. As long as that's fine. As long as you end up safe up here, it doesn't matter. Like, this wall is quite kind. You can scrape your tire down it, and it usually doesn't give you a bad reaction. If it is, you probably were aiming too left, and you just hit the rock too straight on. But you can graze this rock just fine. So, this is the important stuff. This is the big jump. So I get up here. I turn my wheels left. If I turn my wheels left and I let the car roll back, the car turns right. That's just car things. Like, it's rotating clockwise. You see it like here, you see the car is turning to the right. Every time I let it roll back. Anyone who drives should like understand this completely fine. So yeah, what I'm doing is, let's just go back. Jump up, cancel, hold square, land, turn the wheels left, and I'm letting myself roll back, and then I'm holding X. I'm already not holding X again. I held X just long enough for the wheels to start spinning, just to stop myself from going too far back. And I let myself roll back again and again. This one doesn't do it many times. We'll do this one. Just as a quick recap, waiting for that front left wheel to go up. I anticipated it here a little bit here, but you see it is, the front left has still gone up. Jump, boost, hold back on the stick. As you can see, I also tend to cancel the boost early nowadays, but you don't need to do that necessarily. Ram into the wall helps you turn around, get in this position. Jump, boost, cancel, hold square, and then turn the wheels left. And then this is the other thing, is if your back wheels, if your like back left is far away from this wall, which you don't want, if you're like the back of the car is sticking out a bit too far to the right, turning the front wheels left and accelerating will just spin the car clockwise, as I said, which means the back of the car will go to the left. The front will go right and the back will go left, which is nice because you don't want the back dangling off on the right here or anything. So anyway, the wheels are turning left. We roll back. We accelerate a bit, roll back. Accelerate a bit, roll back. And then what I'm looking for is, there are two ridges to care about. There's this ridge, this flat ridge here. You want to keep both wheels. They can go over this ridge at some point, but by this point, the wheels need to be this side of this ridge here. If they're on the other side of the ridge, the nose of the car will be tilting more down, which you don't want. If you get that, you won't make the jump, period. So at the end of this adjustment, they need to be on this side of that ridge. And the other one, let me see if I can use the shadow of the wheel to show you better. There. You see it goes from like flat like this, the ridge, to there's a corner right here, and it goes down like that. So you need the wheels to be on this side of this ridge. And then also on this tire needs to be on the left of this corner right here. So what I'm looking for when I'm doing this rollback is, when I roll back and see that the tire is just barely on the left of this corner, I stop turning left, I let the car roll back and start accelerating as always, and then just as the wheels start spinning and I'm starting to accelerate forward, and I can see that I'm building a little bit of a momentum going forward, and before this wheel goes over the edge, if it goes over the edge before you jump, you're fucked. Before it goes over the edge of this ridge, I jump and I boost like that. And that is how you get the nose pointing up and also some good forward momentum. You can get the nose pointing up on its own. That won't get you over the wall. You can get good speed on its own. That won't get you over the wall. You need both height and speed to get over the wall consistently, and that's how I do it. It's the height comes from the nose up, and you get the nose up from accelerating just before you take off, and also having the wheels on the right side of this ridge here and this ridge here. That's what gives you the nose up. And also, obviously, I'm holding the stick back. And you always do that to get the nose tilted up. Now, the turning right, do I do it in this clip? No. So in this clip, I just stopped turning left, but in this one, I actually turn right at the end, which is what I recommend you do. And I should have done in the other one, but it still worked. So I stopped turning left and immediately I turn right, but it's the same as the other clip. I'm holding X and I'm waiting, and now I'm accelerating, but the wheel is still barely, it's right on the edge, it's right on the corner, but it's still okay. Just about. And then I'm jumping and I'm boosting. You see I'm actually pressing the boost already, but we don't see it. And then I'm jumping and I'm boosting, and turning the car to the right keeps you away from this rock face on the left, which is another thing you have to avoid. And then you see I get over. This was not the cleanest, but at this point I'm going for speed, not being clean. So you see I actually, I almost left it too late, because right here I'm I haven't even jumped yet. I've just let go of the jump button, but I still haven't jumped, and my wheel is gone off the other side of the ridge. So that's the only reason why you see if we compare these two, you see how much the nose is up in this one compared to this one. And that's because in this one, my wheel just barely started to go over the ridge here before I jumped. It was going over the ridge before I jumped, which is, I basically cut it as close as you can. And that's why, even though it looks kind of clean, I hit the back right on the wall, but I still make it over. So no harm done. This one is a much better jump because I jumped just a fraction earlier. But the difference is on this one, I didn't hold my wheels to the right, so I hit my left wheel instead on the rock face. But I still made it over again. You can get this without it being clean, turns out. The most important thing being your speed and height. If you get good speed and good height, you can still clip a tire on something and still go over. Because in both of these, I had good speed and height. Yeah. So anyway, this has been long-winded, as I knew it would be. But let's just do a quick recap. So aim for, let's just say, these two grass patches. I use my own, the arch or whatever, but we're waiting for the front left wheel to tilt up. It's tilted up, you see it there. We're jumping and then boosting afterwards and holding the stick back. Then we ram ourselves into that corner while turning the car right. I never mentioned that, but while turning the car right. And that helps us turn around quickly. We get in this position. Then we, if you want, let the car roll forward a little bit and jump and boost about here. And then cancel the boost by using square. You don't want to be holding X at this point. Holding or mashing square. And then hold square so that the wheels stop moving. I've already stopped them moving, so I don't need to hold it anymore. We land, immediately holding the wheels to the left so that the car rolls back and spins clockwise. We're using very short bursts of the X button to stop ourselves from going too far back, but also not letting ourselves go too far forward either. I occasionally use square if I think I've gone too far forward to slow myself down, but you never want to hold square long enough that it makes you start reversing. That's too much. The only time you want to use square in this situation is to stop yourself going forward too much. But here I'm being a bit more cautious, very light on the X taps, so I'm not worried. And then once we see that wheel is on the corner, on this corner, just to the left of the corner, we stop holding left. Ideally, you turn right here. If I was not being cocky, I would have turned right. You're letting the car roll back as you do this, by the way. So you see it on the corner, and then you let go of left and let it roll back. And just as you start to build that speed, it's a very small amount of speed that I see I'm building. I jump and I boost. before the front tires go over this ridge, and then gives me the nose up and the speed, and that will get you over the wall. And then ideally you are aiming a little bit more to the right, like in this attempt, because I turned the wheels to the right. And if you combine this one and this one, you'd have the perfect jump. This one has the speed and the height, the nose up and the speed, but it's too far left, although it still works as I showed you. This one doesn't quite have the nose up, but it has the speed and it's far enough right. So combine the two, you get the perfect picturesque jump. Yeah, this was long-winded. My tutorials always are. I just didn't want to leave anything out. I probably still did. Anyway, that's it from me, and I hope I don't have to remake this for the fucking 10th time. Yeah, peace.